This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connected to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today evening news update for Monday, September 28th. Thank you for joining us. I am Maria Williams. Heavy rains left parts of the island flooded today. The Met Office says the rains are associated with localized convective activity. Barbados Today visited some of the affected areas, and readers also submitted some of their pictures of flooding in Baxter's Road, Tudor Bridge, the Globe Cinema and Belleville. Police are investigating reports of a schoolgirl posing with a firearm on social media. The unnamed student is said to be attending a rural secondary school. Police told Barbados Today they are aware of the picture making the rounds on social media and are looking into the matter. The Barbados Labour Party Christchurch West branch has elected an executive for the next year in the absence of the sitting MP Maria Agard, who is facing an uncertain political future. Following an aborted contentious annual general meeting the previous Sunday, Agard indicated she would be unable to attend the follow-up meeting, and she reportedly declared she would not work with the elected executive, but now those persons will preside over the nomination of the constituency's representative in the next general elections. Claimant Leo Graham was the sole witness called today to give evidence before the Employment Rights Tribunal, which is chaired by attorney Omari Drakes and accompanied by Dr. Hartley Richards and Frederick Ford. Graham was employed at the Rural Development Commission from May 2008 to June 2013 as a temporary field officer, and he has brought a case of unfair dismissal against the government agency. The hearing was convened at the main conference room of the Labour Department at the Warrens Complex and began around 2:30 p.m. and ended at 4. In his opening statement, attorney Oliver Thomas, who is appearing in association with attorney Gregory Nichols on behalf of Graham, he called for a declaration by the RDC indicating that Graham's dismissal was unfair. He also outlined the reasons for Graham's dismissal, suggesting that he be given compensation, benefit from reinstatement or re-engagement, and that Graham be given further or other relief as the tribunal sees fit, and he be awarded costs. Meanwhile, counsel for the RDC, Mitch Codrington, produced documentary evidence to show that during Graham's 5 years at the RDC, he was employed on a temporary basis. The documents showed that every month, Graham was given a document signed by the Human Resources Officer, Annette Clark, showing that he was a temporary officer. CARICOM member states are being asked to show greater commitment to complying fully with the CARICOM single market and economy. The call came today from Barbados' ambassador to CARICOM, Robert Bobby Morris, and the acting Prime Minister, Richard Seeley. They were addressing the opening ceremony for students engaging the CSME through field promotion program that was held at Sky Mall in Haggart Hall. Seeley said there needs to be a united effort by everyone in the region to solve the vexing problems at the social and economic level of each country in order for the CSME to be fully implemented.
The evidence suggests that the 5 main regimes are functioning, but not at the level of capacity expected by the community. In fact, figures from the CSME unit indicate that the CSME is at approximately 71% overall level of compliance. It is clear to see that the CSME is a work in progress. Commitment is therefore needed at national and regional levels. The process has begun, but I think it's up to the youth to secure its longevity. Think of this project as a conduit to provide the knowledge basis needed for you to actualize the vision of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas.
Meanwhile, Morris says the time has come for the full application of a CARICOM free movement regime, especially as it relates to the use of the CARICOM skill certificates, the movement of service producers in an organized manner, and also the exercise of rights establishment by entrepreneurs.
The escalation of this free movement is critical to the integration process. It moves us away from functional cooperation into real integration. Because once we get into that free movement process, we're going to be changing the laws of countries, using an almost supranational authority to make sure that everybody comes in line. So this is not just functional cooperation, this is real integration. And once we are able to establish this regime, we are on this successful path to final Caribbean integration.
The Dominica Association of Barbados is saying a big thank you to Barbados for its support for its fundraising activities over the weekend for the storm-hit country. The association hosted a cooler fete on Friday night, a cooler cruise on Saturday, and a 5K walk, run and ride on Sunday morning. Member of the association, Damian Sorrendo, tells Barbados Today the funds raised will be donated to the local water company, Dowasco, to assist some of the communities and schools that are still without water 1 month after the storm.
Very early in the whole movement, Barbados Cares movement, Shefet came on board right away and gave us a donation of 20,000 Barbados dollars, and that's going to go a long way. We actually directing that money to the Wasco, which is the local water utility company in Dominica. There are a lot of communities that still don't have pipe-borne water, and you know the sort of health concerns that can lead to. So we're actually providing 12 1,000-gallon water tanks to the Wasco, and they're going to install these water tanks in some of the hard-hit communities as well as some of the schools in these hard-hit communities that still need to open, and you can't open a school without pipe-borne water.
In sports, West Indies coach Phil Simmons will not join the team on their tour of Sri Lanka. That's because he was suspended with immediate effect 2 days after he voiced dissatisfaction with the ODI squad selected for the tour. Simmons made comments in the print and electronic media which appeared to question the legitimacy of the selection process of the ODI squad. And WICB says management decided to suspend him pending an investigation. He was informed of the suspension via an email from the West Indies Cricket Board CEO Michael Muirhead as he was in the UK preparing to join the squad in London. Former West Indies fast bowler Eldin Baptiste will take up the post of interim coach for the tour of Sri Lanka. Simmons took up the job in March of this year.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region, the United States becomes the latest country to issue a travel advisory against the Bahamas as a result of a rise in armed robberies. Last month, Britain and Canada warned their citizens of the problem in New Providence, and the Department of State's Overseas Security Advisory Council has also posted a similar message on its website. The report said in part that an apparent 2-year rise in armed robberies in the Bahamas has spurred numerous warnings by foreign governments to their citizens visiting the country. Last year, the U.S. Embassy in Nassau said at least 3 Americans, including a minor, were allegedly sexually assaulted by jet ski operators on the tourist playground of Paradise Island. Finally, scientists believe they can now tie dark streaks seen on the surface of Mars to periodic flows of liquid water. Data from a NASA satellite shows the features, which appear on slopes, to be associated with salt deposits. Such deposits could alter the freezing and vaporization points of water in the planet's air, keeping it in a fluid state. Michael Mayer is the lead scientist on NASA's Mars exploration program.
For the first time, we have orbital evidence of the agent that has enabled water to flow on the surface of today's Mars. For years, we've had orbital spacecraft imaging valleys, streaks, gullies. All of them look like water was an agent, it had something to do with forming them. but we didn't have any proof. And it was not until about 4 years ago that looking at we found the active process on Mars today that showed that water was a likely culprit. These are called recurring slope lineae, RSL, for the rest of the press conference to save everybody the trouble of saying recurring slope lineae. These are dark streaks that form in late spring, grow through the summer, and then disappear by fall. However, for 4 years, the scientific community has been unable to explain the waxing and waning of these dark streaks on the surface.
And that's the news and sports. For more news, log on to www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals and screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM. I am Maria Agard Williams. Good evening.